Yeah.
Geomander, and I see uh, what do you call it? Uh,
What?
the game.
The
I see the
game.
game,
Okay, good. Good. That's all we wanted.
but it's in between those lists,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's intended. That's intended.
Okay.
All right. Age of Empires 2. Uh did you play the original Age of Empires 2, the original release of it when it came out, right?
I think so. Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, we had it, but you weren't like big into the ladder of Age of Empires.
No, absolutely not.
You were pretty high on the global ladder for Red Alert, I think.
Yes,
Uh, how much did you play Red Alert compared to like Age of
a,
Empires 2?
a lot.
Yeah,
I played it a lot more than we play the one we're playing now.
yeah. I mean, so I guess what I wanted to get at is I got you the definitive edition of Age of Empires 2, which is the one we're playing now.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, there's some updates, there's some new graphics and stuff, a lot of new civilizations. But do you think that this is like a better game than Red Alert 1?
Yes.
In what ways? Like,
Well, it depends on what you mean by better.
okay.
Okay, it's Age of Empires. It requires more thought,
Right.
and the other one, the Red Alert one.
Yeah.
Once you got things down, right? There was a sequential order that you built stuff and what have you.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a whole lot of thinking about what you were doing, and there wasn't any updating of stuff.
Yeah. It was
So Age of Empires is more complicated. I mean, there's more ways you can fuck up in it
right.
than in Red Alert.
Yeah, Red Alert is a lot more like a solved thing. Once you know the build order on a certain map, like you just execute it.
Yeah.
And if you're a little slower at executing it than your opponent, then you lose. And that's pretty much it.
I
I,
mean, there's things like you were always sneaking up on my ass in Red Alert 2, right?
yeah,
On the map we were playing where there was water,
yeah,
you'd sneak your ass up there and start shelling my fucking main base, for which I had no protection, right?
yeah.
And I had to move stuff around and lose time.
Yeah, there was a little bit more strategy in some of the later games when they had like more complicated units. But I think a lot of the complication in Age of Empires 2 is more interesting than just like really complex single units. Because you've got the whole thing with like grouping different types of units. Um, there's all of the complications with like your economy and like how many people you have on a resource and the resource
Well, the
upgrades.
thing about Age of Empires allows you to control your economy, okay? For
Yeah,
instance, I can sell wood and get gold.
right.
I can sell food and get gold. I can buy food with gold, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot more flexibility,
yeah, and
you
that
know?
that lets you like play into other strategies too, because like whereas in any other game where it was just collecting resources, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you would just have a less than ideal economy. but with the market and some of the other features in the game, like you have some flexibility to like go heavy into one resource or fall
Right.
back on another. And also the fact
Well,
that
okay, but
almost every
but
unit requires multiple resource types too.
right, and the thing is like fucking Ben is stupid. Okay, let's just come right out and say Ben strategically is stupid.
And you're talking about my brother
Okay,
here.
I'm talking about your brother,
Yes.
Lieutenant. Commander Ben. All right,
Right.
Commander Ben is a fucking idiot. And if we were on, at sea, I would probably punch Commander Ben out, okay?
Okay.
Because he'd pull one of his fucking, jive ass bullshit. Okay, like last night,
Yeah.
we're playing as teammates, right?
Yeah.
The cocksucker is fucking almost crying for me to get my ships down there to protect his fucking cannon ships.
Yeah.
The fucking the AI was not even like fully engaged, right? But I have to go down. He can't do anything with
Yeah.
all of his fucking cannon ships unless I'm there to protect his ass. Okay,
Right.
that's pretty fucking lame, dude. That's lame.
Well, and and well, you guys were playing on my campaign map that I made, right?
No, we were playing that one where there's two big islands.
Oh,
There's
Team Islands.
two AI, huh?
Oh, you were playing against teammated AI.
Yeah, and we were playing it, like super hard or something.
Yeah.
But the AI never did much of anything. Okay,
Right.
it just and this guy is screaming like he's being raped by an elephant, right? and and I'm thinking, you know, uh, okay, I went in the Navy. I was a dick, all right? If you fucked with me, I might punch you out. I don't give a fuck if you're a commander or not,
Yeah.
you know? I mean,
I sense we're veering a little bit away from the point of talking about Age of Empires 2 as a game. We've got some questions here.
okay.
What is Dad's favorite Civ? And this is interesting because it's actually changed over time, right?
What?
Your favorite civilization to play in Age of Empires 2?
Well, it depends, okay?
It depends on the
I,
map
I,
primarily, right?
right. Primarily depends on the map. If we're going to play a water map, I'm going to be the Byzantines
Yeah,
because they have the best fire ships.
right. And their
And
buildings all get extra health.
right.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to play for a water map, right?
Yeah.
It's not so good until you get way up there
On a
as a
land map, right?
right. You know,
And on land,
uh,
you I think usually pick Saracens because you like the camel
right. Because I
stuff.
like the camels and I just like the way the Saracens are laid out.
Well, and
You
also
know,
they have that market bonus so that you can lean on
right.
the market a little bit more.
Well, I've just gotten into using the market, and I've crushed your brother's nuts on the market because because I produce so many market things, and
Yeah.
I upgrade them so they're going fast, right?
Right, right.
And
When we do team games, you're like you have the
yeah,
constant
I mean,
train of caravans going
he
back and
won't,
forth.
he won't, the cocksucker won't. Even when we're playing your map, right, the one you made up,
Yeah.
he won't shoot me some gold, right? I'm not asking him to shoot me 2,000 gold. I'm more or less looking at it like, give me a couple of hundred here
Yeah.
so I can, move to the next level. And he tells me to go mine. I've got people standing around. So it's like,
Right.
in other words, he's advising me how to fucking play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeding the cocksucker, I'm protecting the cocksucker, and he's still picking up on every little error that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean I think that's part of the flaw of like playing in co-op is that, familiarity breeds contempt.
no, familiarity doesn't breed contempt because you and I play together a lot, okay?
Yeah.
And you've never told me, you've got three people standing there and they're not mining gold.
Yeah.
You've never reduced yourself to micromanaging my side of the fucking board. Okay?
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, we played through all of the co-op campaigns that DE put out for this, right? Like we did all the historical campaigns that they made into co-ops. That you remember we did Tamerlane and Saladin.
Right. I remember one where we climbed a mountain, right?
Yeah, it was like crossing the Pyrenees or something.
Yeah, but I had one unit left when we got to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Because I made so many mistakes.
Yeah, well, that one is just like a maze, and there are like castles in some of the spots, and if you like go too far, your guys like walk into it turning around and shit.
Yeah.
But was playing the co-op missions fun?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're playing a co-op mission and you're not playing with somebody like Ben,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I don't mind helping you out, but don't fucking whine at me, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like whining, and that's like irritating because he's a grown man.
Yeah.
They're killing me down here. They're killing my ships. You've got to come. Please come. Please. Please. The map is so large, and, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you that, I'm quite a ways off, and I'm coming as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And I've cranked up my production, and they're shooting them out. But it's going to be a little while before they get there. Back the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, and then
back up.
And then also the fact that you lean pretty heavily on onagers in the late game.
Yeah.
And when you're playing co-op, you're pretty indiscriminate with the fire on them. And, I've played enough with you that I know to just, like, stay right next to the onagers and hope you aren't shooting yourself with them.
Right.
But he likes to, like, get into the fray in the middle of, onager fire and then complain that he's taken losses. Which,
right.
I mean, he's played the game not nearly as much as either of us, but quite a while.
Hey, can I run and grab a cup of coffee?
Hey, go for it.
Hang on. Go for it. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, at least he's having fun. Everyone else enjoying this? I'm assuming so. Yes, yeah. It's not AoE 3, it's AoE 2. We're gonna get into the discussion about ranked games when he gets back from making coffee. Basically, none of us have done enough ranked games to actually get a proper rank placement. I'm the closest. Uh, and we tried doing co-op ranked, but the guys were the guys that we thought were like extremely toxic, and it was not very fun. They just brutalized us on Black Forest. Well, AoE is not a simple game by any stretch. Like, there are simple things you can do, but if you do them, like, in a competitive setting, then people will just punish you. It's got a pretty high level as far as, It's not a simple game, it's just enjoyed by simple people. Online is psycho. Well, it's because there's not a lot of people who play the game at a low level, or even like a mid-range level. It feels like most of the like mid elo is actually pretty intensely into the game. There is some very low level, but a lot of it seems like it's people who disconnect a lot, like have bad internet connections. And so they just like they play pretty hard, and then they just lose a lot of games arbitrarily. And then there's also some people who just seem to like go AFK a lot at the low level, which is pretty funny. Yeah, 1100 is crazy high in AoE 2, I feel like. Like, I was getting smashed by people with like 900, but that's mostly because of like rushing. The game's got pretty tight requirements for like build order for a lot of the rush stuff.
Okay, I'm back.
Well, welcome back, Jack.
Oh,
You get your coffee?
Yeah, I got my coffee.
So we were
I'll
just
have to cool.
Yeah. We were just talking about the fact that none of us have really done ranked stuff because it's so extremely tilted towards very high level play at this point.
Yeah.
You and I did that one co-op or 2v2 ranked game, which I think soured us on the concept. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely, yeah.
It was Black Forest.
We got our ass kicked so bad.
It was
so fast.
It was Black Forest, and one of the guys on the other side was a Celt who just like brutally castle dropped you.
Yeah.
And we were like trying to fight it off, and then he castle dropped me, and his teammate was like completely useless, but this one guy as Celts was just like dunking castles on top of us, and we couldn't do anything about it. And then his teammate, who was useless, was like talking mad shit in chat to us.
Yeah. Well, what happened? Okay, let's drop back to Red Alert 2, okay?
Okay.
At the start of Red Alert 2, when I first got involved in it,
yeah,
and they started the ladder, right?
Yeah.
I had actual adult friends who were on the ladder with me, right?
Yeah.
And we exchanged, little tricks and things that we'd learned.
Yeah.
And then they had the real heavy duty ladder people like Anglia and the German woman who'd only play one fucking map.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, these people, they lived it, okay? I think it's the only thing they did.
Yeah.
Maybe they shit, maybe they ate, but mainly they played Red Alert, and they played maps that they knew they could win on.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, as it became more popular, they had a chat room, like, remember the Canadian chat room where I'd go in and tell them they were all fucking Germans
Yep.
because their sense of humor was the same as a German,
Yeah.
and, I
Then you
did
then
stuff
you
like,
yeah, then you went into the German chat room and called them fairies until they cussed in German and got kicked by the chatbot.
right? Yeah, well, I'm sorry I had to do shit like that. But the thing is, all of a sudden we started getting 14-year-olds. I call them 14-year-olds. They may have been 12, they may have been 15, I don't know.
Right.
But these were the motherfuckers that came out and said, okay, I'll only play you if you give me a 30-minute harvester treaty, right?
Yeah.
And I'd always tell them, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, sure. 30 minutes, gotcha. Okay, and then I'd immediately, the first thing I did was attack their harvesters.
Exactly.
So I became known as a real asshole. And these people were, okay, these were the kind of jack-offs that you got that would have one motherfucking unit left, right?
Yeah.
And they'd hide it in some bushes. And they would not surrender, right?
Yeah.
And you either took the loss by going ahead and getting pissed off and just surrendering, right?
Yeah.
Ben does that all the time.
Right.
Okay. If anything bad happens to him, he surrenders.
Yeah.
It's out of his control anymore.
But
And
you want to hunt down that last unit.
you have to, man. Otherwise, you lose your rank.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a cheap shot thing to do.
Yeah.
Come on.
What do you think about laming in AoE 2? And you probably don't know the name for it, but it's when you go over and you kill other people's their animals at the start of the match.
What do you mean? I mean, I'm the one that invented cheap shit like that.
That is true. That is true. You have lamed me.
I will attack you with guys who don't have anything but big fucking sticks.
Yeah.
If they can kill some of your villagers, right?
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to lose them, but if they can kill some of your villages, it slows you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheap shot.
Yeah.
But it's the way the world really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the people that win.
It's true. It's true.
You do it all the time. Don't talk about me.
But I do not lame. I do rushes, but it's usually like archers.
You do rushes. You do rushes on fucking Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Smoke
one
'em out.
game I remember. Ben's on a little island. It was one of those ones where you get placed on a little island and you move to a bigger island.
Yeah, like migration or something.
Right. Well, he's on this little island and he builds a fucking castle and all kind of other shit, right? And you land on his fucking island, right?
Yeah.
And he fucking quits.
Yeah.
Game is over for him, man. You fucked him, man. See?
Yeah.
You didn't play according to the way he thought you would, so he quits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man. It's like when I'm doing battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting my ass kicked. I know I retreat. You know.
Fall back.
I get the fuck
save
out
some
of there.
villagers.
Go somewhere. Huh?
Fall back. Save villagers. Save what you
Hide
can.
some villagers in the fucking bushes. Because when it's all over, you're gonna.
I gotta
if you
turn on the
you're
other
gonna
guy.
You're gonna have to. Well, you remember the game you and I. Okay, me and you and Ben.
Yeah.
And Ben got pissed off and quit. And so I wasn't capable of taking you out,
Yeah.
but I kept you in the game for another hour and a half
Yeah.
or hour,
Just milking
just
me out.
moving around and, being a dick.
Yeah, yeah. Hitting the eco, running away, having like a castle somewhere.
Right. Whatever I figured could, keep me in the game.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how can I, if I stop anywhere and try and build up,
Yeah.
he's going to crush me, right? So what I've got to do is I got to keep moving, and maybe eventually I'll find a place, but I never did.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you finally beat me or if I just finally surrendered.
I can't remember. I think you must have surrendered because I couldn't find all of your shit in time because you did have enough of an economy left to like keep moving around and getting resources. I think you had a lot of like floating resources when I took your base. And so you were able to like drop a, new barracks somewhere and start pumping shit out. But yeah, that was a pretty good game.
Well, what happened in Red Alert is when the 14-year-olds got in there, they completely destroyed it for all the grown-up people, right?
Well, they became like what the balance changes got made for. Like I remember in Tiberian Sun, one of the first things that got hit was the Nod artillery because it was too good and people.
It's too powerful. It's too powerful.
Yeah, and then they
then they had the other one where one engineer could capture a building.
Yeah.
And they changed that to 5 engineers.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break.
Right. Because they couldn't be bothered to protect their base from engineer rushes.
Well, they were fucking kids,
Yeah.
And well.
And one thing I will say about Age of Empires 2 as far as the ladder stuff is I do think that it is tilted more towards extremely high level play, but it's also tilted more towards sort of grown adults since it is like a 20-year-old game that just has a graphical update. Like I'm sure there's some kids playing it, but it's not like I think most of the kids today are playing like Fortnite or something. They're not playing this.
Well, they moved away from real-time strategy.
Yeah.
To what do you call it? Shoot 'em up games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I was never,
well, except for AVP2, remember when we would play that?
Huh?
Aliens vs. Predators 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I fondly remember that one.
The best part of that one, because nobody...
Fucking spawn killers! Fucking spawn killers!
Yeah, we eventually got...
Don't let them in! Don't let them in, they're spawn killers!
We eventually got banned from every single official server, or every single, like, standing server for AVP2.
Well, these guys had, super duper, 10,000 fucking bytes per second.
Yeah, they had like T1 lines, and we were
playing on a telephone line. And I remember I was unable to manipulate around the board fast enough.
Yeah.
So I had control of the fucking mouth of the monster or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you got me close to him, I started chewing, and we killed zillions of them.
So what he's talking about, for people who are confused, is he couldn't handle the movement of the aliens, like moving up the walls and around the ceilings.
I was shitty with with the mouse.
So what we would do is I would sit alongside him with the keyboard and do the keyboard controls, and he would move the mouse and just sort of like pilot it as I charged around the map. Yeah, I posted about it before. Okay, so and we would almost exclusively play as the dog alien, I think, and just run around head biting people and hitting them with the tail. Until we got up to like the Queen Alien. It was like the Call of Duty Ultimates, where you got enough of a kill streak and you could turn into the Queen Alien. But they raged on us for spawn killing and having a bunch of lag, and we eventually got like systematically banned from every single server. And we would only be able to join servers that people had like just set up because they didn't have like a global ban list or anything. So we would constantly be like popping into servers and everybody in chat immediately being like, no, ban, admins, ban.
Yeah, well,
so much fun.
You've got to remember, man, that I learned how to play chess when I was 5 years old, right?
Yeah.
And
the most powerful move in chess is making somebody else flip the board over.
Yeah, yeah, that's a truism, okay. But I also played a whole lot of what they call board games.
Yeah, the old
that use the little square things.
The old hex board war games.
Right. Like the last one that I played a whole lot of was Arab-Israeli Wars.
Yeah.
And so me and Andy, right?
Yeah.
We used to play constantly whenever he could get away and come over, right?
Yeah.
And so we found out about Mensa.
Right.
If there's any Mensa members there, you're not going to like what I have to say.
I don't think we have any Mensons. I have some Mensons in my friends list, but they're not in chat right now.
Okay, well, we decided we would join Mensa, right?
Yeah.
To try and find some other people to play with.
Right.
Because it does get kind of boring just playing, you know, like if me and Joe play each other pretty soon, you know, in a couple of months, we get tired of playing each other, okay?
Yeah.
Need a little change. Anyhow, so we joined Mensa. We didn't take their fucking test. We were already qualified. Fuck them. So we go. Let me tell the story, man. Let me tell the story.
All right.
We go to Mensa, and we take Arab-Israeli Wars with us, right?
Yeah.
And we sit down at a table, and here comes this guy, right? An older guy with a young, good-looking chick, and he's going to explain this to her.
Yeah.
So he tells her, you know, that this is a board game that's very complicated, and it takes, sometimes people spend a month playing one of these games, right?
Yeah.
So I would never play the Arabs because I'm a Jew. So I'd always make Andy play the Arabs.
Yeah.
So we're setting up. Andy puts down the first Arab group. I put down the first Israeli group. He puts down the second Arab group. I put down the second Israeli group. I've got him flanked, right?
Right.
It's going to be a fucking disaster. So this guy has been telling this girl about how long these games take and all that stuff. And as soon as I put down my last piece and Andy studies it a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He starts picking up the pieces and throwing them back in the fucking box, you know? And I start picking up the Israelis and throwing them in their box, right?
Right. And
this guy is just, you know, completely, he has no clue what happened.
Yeah.
Because he was just bullshitting this chick. And then I found out that most of the members of the San Diego chapter of Mensa
Yeah.
were into playing with themselves, okay? We went outside to smoke, and there was a small group of maybe 10 people who considered themselves to be supermensons,
Right.
okay? They had more than 95%.
Percentile.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but it's I think maybe it's 98%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyhow, uh, and they're arguing with each other about they should have a super mensa because the rest of the people in there are not as smart as them.
Right.
And when you get up to the point where you're in the upper 1 or 2%
Yeah.
of everybody in the world,
And you're
you
still
know,
complaining about your scores.
and you're still bitching. Okay, brother has always wanted to be a member of Mensa, but he's too chicken shit to take the test.
Yeah.
So, so one time when was like, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, Ben takes a test online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets his score back, and then he has take the test, and fucking beat his balls into the ground, you know? And so what Ben did was, this shows you how chicken shit my other son is. He changed his age so that he was older than Ben. Therefore, Ben was now the most intelligent,
Right.
you know? And I'm like, oh, that's chicken shit, Ben. That is the chickenest shit thing I've ever seen. You
Well,
know?
and Mensa's still trying to rope you back in, aren't they? They're constantly
Yeah,
begging.
they keep sending me things trying to get me to pay my dues.
Fuck that.
Mm.
You kept sending it to me like, hey, you should pay my
No,
dues.
I send it. I always send it. I send it to Ben,
Oh right.
because Ben's got money, and I always, tell him, "Come on, buddy. I mean, you're my son. You should pay this for me.
Yeah.
It's like an annual gift or something." And it pisses him off so bad,
Right.
you know. He sends me back something like "fuck you" and Mensa too. It's just a bunch of shit,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I'm not going to let you know. I know it, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I found out was that um,
The caliber of people at Mensa are not
the
exactly the same.
caliber of the people there, they were fucking just into themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were into self masturbation, all right?
Yeah.
Get a hold of that. Their whole sex life was self masturbation.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that that's where Ben's problem lies. Although, don't tell him that.
Just overestimation. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
well, let's go ahead and rank Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition in my list of games played this year. And I know for a fact that you haven't really played any other games than this on your computer.
well, I play that. The one where you're the Allied, or you can be the Germans, right?
The ship game, the Northern or
Yeah,
Atlantic
the
Fleet.
ship game. Yeah, the North Atlantic Fleet.
Yeah.
I play that. I play some of the. Well, I can't. Wait a minute. Maybe I can turn my computer on here. Uh, yes, I can sign in. I can tell you the games that I've played
Okay.
by going to Steam.
We tried to play Old
Okay,
World.
okay. Age of Empires is primary. Silent Hunter, Wolves of the Pacific is second.
Yeah.
I played Sid Meier's Civilization 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
I've
newest
got
one.
Old World and Nebuchadnezzar, and I haven't played either one of them.
Well, that's not true because we tried to play Old World in co-op. Remember?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a little
Okay,
complicated.
the other one is Rise of Nations. I've played that.
Yeah,
I've played Age of Empires 3.
but you don't
I
have the
was
definitive edition of that, right?
no. It's
Just the old version.
the 2007 version,
Yeah.
and I play Atlantic Fleet. Command and Conquer. I never could get the fucking thing to work. The
The
remastered
oh yeah,
collection.
yeah,
Command and Conquer Red Alert. I played that like there was no tomorrow. Uh,
we'll get the Command and
well,
Conquer Red Alert remaster working for you.
huh?
I said we'll get the Red Alert remaster working for you. So we got you that a while back.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's the Command and Conquer Remastered Collection.
right.
You
Okay.
got it for me in 21. I still haven't got the fucking thing to work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's Panzer Corps, the one I used to play that one map that I could always beat you at.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I remember.
Age of Empires 2, I played that, but I haven't played it lately.
Well, that must be the HD version.
Total War Empire Definitive Edition.
Yeah, I remember.
That was a long time.
Yeah, that was a while.
I'm trying to just say the ones that I've played.
Yeah.
You know, there's a somewhere in here there's a airplane one, but I'm a shitty pilot.
Yeah.
So all I did in that was fly around and get shot down or crash into buildings.
Yeah.
You know.
So would you say that Age of Empires 2 is the best game you've played this year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Silent Hunter is okay, but Silent Hunter is like they had a game where you played like you were on a B-17, right?
Yeah.
The only problem was you had to play. You could only be one person, right?
So you have to
You're
run
either
around.
flying the thing, huh?
You're warping around all the different stations on the B-17.
Yeah. It's like, well, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, that was Flying Fortress, I think.
And there were some games. Sid Meier's Civilization 5, 6.
Well, you have 5 and 6, but I think you played 6 more.
Probably.
I don't remember. I know you were into one of the civilizations for a while, but
yeah, it was the one where you built a town. Remember how horrible I was at the Civilization Pyramid game?
oh, the Pharaoh, the Imagineer.
Right, Pharaoh. I'd have to get you to come in there and straighten out my traffic flow.
Yeah.
Because everybody was fucking starving to death.
Yeah.
I built good pyramids. I built good pyramids and shit. But that other the
pathing for all of the like distributors for that game is obnoxious.
Yeah, it was. What can I say, man? I mean, the other one I've played is Ultimate General Gettysburg, which sucks a wiener.
Yeah, I hadn't. I noticed you played that, but you hadn't said anything about it, so I figured it just kind of sucked.
It did. It did. It did. Panzer Corps. I really like Panzer Corps, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's that one map where I can fucking kick your ass. And there's nothing you can do about it, no matter what you try to do.
Yeah.
I could always. Holy crap! I haven't played Panzer Corps since 2014.
Yeah.
And I only played for 16 minutes.
Well, I think that's because you played it offline.
Well, yeah, of course I played it offline, but
Yeah, you did. That was before you had reliable internet, so Steam wouldn't have been recording the time you had in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of games like
Are
that.
we being listened? Are we
Yeah.
being listened to by a
Yes.
third party or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What?
China.
China.
Yeah, my mother says China's listening in.
Oh,
Probably
piss on
always.
China.
All right, so
Piss on China. I'll send them some more. God damn it! What was that? The British grew it in India and sold it to
opium.
the Chinese.
Opium.
Huh? Opium, yeah.
Opium
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Well, no, they did straight opium, and
Yeah.
they got their silver back. And
Well, here we go. I'm gonna place Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition at the top of the list, and I gotta take the dog out because he's starting to get whiny.
well, my dog does that too.
Yeah.
You know. But there is no dog except a Saluki.
True. All right, we gotta end this before you start getting into dog breeds, buddy.
What? What?
Thank you for showing up for this ranking.
Oh, that's quite all right. I hope people got something out of it.
Yeah.
Besides, he's an ass. He's an ass.
Everyone,
But that's okay.
everyone is saying thank you for helping out.
Oh,
with
don't do that because that breaks my heart. I don't want to be liked, okay? I don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
I just want to win.
Well, you just won a 20-minute harvester treaty.
Really?
Yeah.
20 minutes?
20 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Please. All right.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go here.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this.
That's quite all right. I didn't know I was even doing it. That's how oblivious I am. Okay.
That's how the best things work.
I'll get it in a second. Okay.
All
All right. I gotta help Mom get the groceries in. Catch you later.
Love you.
Hey, I love you too. But are we gonna play today?
Yeah, we'll play later.
All right.
I gotta run the dog out.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I managed to rope him into this. Even though he made it sound like I totally deceived him, but I told him what I was doing. But the dog is getting really whiny, so I do have to run him out. So I feel a little bad rushing the end of this, but I'm sure I'll be able to get him on more. Do you say foreign people or just like... Nah, I just say people. People are... I didn't think anyone would actually show up for this, but I should have known better. I have to vote this blind man. Oh, man. Yeah, well, thank you guys for watching.